We are honored and overjoyed to welcome Sir Charles and to just have this conversation about business failure and what to do when all goes wrong. You know, you came in when you were answering some questions in terms of, who ran away, who stayed. And who actually, and what are the key lessons that we learned. So allow me just to give Sir Charles a minute to introduce himself, and I'll start one question by this. Martin mentioned in your absence that we refer to you as engineer, people refer to you as director, people refer to you as, doctor. Which of these titles do you like as you introduce yourself?
Thank you, Titus. That's a very good opening remark from your side. Thank you so much. Titus, I'm so happy that I'm not a man who likes titles. I like just being called Charles, but the name that I love the most is Sir Charles. Simply because I never called myself Sir. People called me Sir. I was serving at Jubilee Christian Church at the time as head of the protocol and head of the ushering department. And then by and by, as I was serving, I am not quite sure to what level of impact I caused in people's lives. They began calling me Sir Charles. So I prefer to be called Sir Charles, simply because a name that I never gave myself, I was given that name by the people that I was serving. Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And before we get into business, we would like to meet, young Charles. What was it like? Were you always this ambitious? We've talked about, and I have the privilege of having been in some conversations with you, and I think we've met another serial entrepreneur in the room. But I think Charles has, in total, I don't know how many business, maybe to the 10s, to the 20s of businesses you've tried. So talk to us a little bit about young Charles. Were you always this ambitious? What led to you becoming to where you are?
I was not very ambitious when I was young. When I was the age of my son here, I was not very ambitious. I didn't know what is life. My dad was a mechanical engineer. We used to have a garage, which I loved the most. And I didn't know about life. I honestly speaking did not understand about passion. I didn't understand about you need to be a great man. Great where? You're in Ushago. There's nothing like being great in Ushago. I mean, you just move from your house, you go to the nearest soko, you come back home. There was nothing like being passionate about my future. I think my future began to take shape when I went to high school. When I went to high school, I went to Machakos Boys, and then at the time I was getting to Form 3, my dad got a bit serious with me. Because again, I was not a brilliant student, so to speak. I've had people say they used to get A's, they used to be the best. God bless them. But as for me, as my son is different, right? I was not a best student. I wasn't, right, so to speak, I was not top 3, top 4. That was not me. I had a friend of mine who was top 1. From class 1 all the way to class 7, that guy was top 1. There's no single day the guy came number 2. And he was my friend. So sometimes I used to wonder, and I used to be a number 15, number 20. So I used to wonder, this guy is number 1 there, he's my friend. How does he look at me, like this? But I was very comfortable. But when I got to Form 3, I realized for me to become a better person, then I need to get my grades seriously. And therefore I began to get a bit serious with books. And I got a B in high school. And then when I came to college, then things took another turn. I wanted to become a clinical officer. I actually did not want to do CPA. I wanted to do medicine. So I learned if I do something on clinical medicine, then I could do some courses and then bridge on with time, and then I could become a doctor. So that was one thing I thought about as I was transitioning. But when I went to KMTC, I could not get an opening in KMTC. I got a bit frustrated, right? And then I said, oof, so now what is my next option here? So my next option then became finance. But my dad didn't want me to do finance. He said, finance is very tough. Are you going to do finance? I said, yes, I want to do finance. And then Fast forward, I came to KCA then, KCA where I'm an alumni right now. I'm the board member in the alumni. And then that was back a few years ago. And I mentioned some of those, that year some of us made to walk out of the room. So I got to KCA, then I went to do KTC then, Accounting Technician Certificate, because I had failed in English. The English here is land, right? I failed in English. So when I went to do CPA, they told me I can't do CPA straight because my English had failed. So they told me I have to do KTC as a bridge course. And I was frustrated a bit. I didn't like it. Richard, I didn't like that. I was a bit annoyed. But when I went and did KTC 1, then KTC 2, I passed KTC 1. KTC 2, as people who have done accounts know, is a very tough course. So I failed. And I failed again. I failed twice. I went home and I found my dad. My dad told me, if I told you don't do this thing and you went ahead and did it, now you have failed. I am not paying you school fees again if you fail. Oh my goodness me. My dad, I looked at him and said, my God, what are you going to do? So I had to get back to class and I get serious. So I got a bit serious after failing in some of those subjects. So failure sometimes shapes your thought process. You discover yourself, look back and say, okay, fine. I made a mistake here. How do I need to do to move forward, how to do things better? And for me, I think that started shaping my mind in terms of how I was to face the future.
Fantastic. I think that's amazing, because I think right in there the lessons have begun, because failure at that young age, at that when you are just starting out to see life, formed your outlook in terms of who you are. And I think transitioning quickly into the dream. So let's talk about your entrepreneurial journey. So you failed, but how do you become this entrepreneur? Where does it start? And maybe it can feed into, the look that you have this evening.
Titles have failed in so many businesses. If there's someone who has done businesses that have failed, you are looking at that example. I have done so many businesses. I have tried, my first business in high school, I tried to do shoes. I was a shoe shiner in high school. And when your shoes get torn, because I didn't have a lot of money. My dad did not have a lot of money because we were 8 of us and we were in school. So I was doing, shoe repair just to get a little bit of coins. And I think my entrepreneurial skills began then, right? And then I come out during college, I leave college, and then I started doing business. So I've done so many from printing, I've done business printing, I've done selling of potatoes, I've done selling of Sukuma Wiki. At one point of time, we operated a Coca-Cola shop for quite some time. Yes, a Coca-Cola shop selling eggs. One of the best things I used to like is selling eggs, right? And selling potatoes, Sukuma Wiki, bananas. We were picking bananas from Kawagware early in the morning, afternoon, Sunday afternoon for a whole week. And besides that also, I have done many more other businesses. Like for example, I was doing printing business, and then it transitioned to a multimedia business. Now, when we got into multimedia business, I went ahead and I told this during 2005, during IAAF in Mombasa. I told the guys and the people then that I can do for them what you call a call center, for communication center for the communication of the journalists and the teams and the people outside the country for reporting purposes. But I didn't have enough money. So the only money I had then was 100,000. And I thought this is good money. So I didn't know the capital required was quite much. So I went ahead and said, I will do the business. But I realized I needed 650,000 to do an entire, very nice state-of-art facility. But what followed was, I went to Barclays Bank then and asked Barclays Bank to give me some money to just boost my equipment. Barclays Bank refused to give me money at the time. At the time, they said, no, Charles, we cannot finance you. And I'd already signed a contract at the time. So the pressure became too much. People want me to deliver, and I'm not delivering. So I remember one point of time, those guys told me, Charles, you better set up this thing, or we are calling off this contract. It was hectic. So when I realized I can't do this thing, I just saw these guys, I can't do it. But it was so bad because the guys who came in to help me, they said, oh, we will share profit. But as you know, Kenyans, most of them are not truthful. That was the last day I saw that guy. Took up the contract, implemented, I lost the business. And I just said, I live to fight another day. So that's one of the many things I've failed in business. I've failed many other businesses. My potato business, the supply of business in Mombasa. Some of those guys who supply business potatoes in Mombasa, I don't know how you guys do it. For me, I took 2 trucks and I only got paid 25% of my money. The rest of the money, the brokers never paid me. They told me, Charles, we are the only ones who can talk between you and the market. So they deliver the potatoes to Mombasa. The truck is there. You cannot sell the potatoes yourself. They tell you don't have the market. They have the market. Ask them, but how? They tell you we're the ones who talk to the shops, the people who buy the potatoes. And I've brought the truck all the way from Mount Narok. The truck is I've spent over almost 500,000. The truck is there. I cannot sell. Then realize this, potatoes lose value by the day, right? So on the second day, because you take a whole day from Mount Narok to a whole night from Mount Narok to Nairobi. By the time the truck was leaving Mount Narok at 6 p.m., arrives here 5 a.m. in the morning. I jump into the truck. We leave from Mombasa, arrive in Mombasa at 8:30 p.m. at night. So that's a whole 24 hours. So now there's another, because now you arrive at night, you have to wait for another 12 hours to sell your potatoes the following day. So that means by the time you start to sell your potatoes, you are down 36 hours. So the potatoes have lost value, they've lost the weight. Then these guys tell you your truck is number 6, you have to wait. Then they come and tell you, look, the price for today is almost 20% off. Wow. Or 25% off. Then they tell you can't talk to people in the market because they're the ones in between. Then they tell you we're going to collect the money. The money doesn't come back. Titus. Frustrating and frustrating. But again, it's the lessons you learn in life. So much of that money left for those guys. And by the way, you guys in Mombasa, if you sort more potatoes, I need my money back.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. So let's talk about some of the good days before we delve a little bit deeper into failure. At what point was your biggest breakthrough? When did things start, shaping up and looking good?
I remember my friend Simon, and the way I'm looking like right now, from Kajiado, we're having a very good celebration today. I'm happy to announce that today we were just launching one of our first classroom we've made for the pupils in a school called Naboisho in Kajiado. We've done 3 classes, and we were launching those classes today in one of our trusts, we call it community trust, and I'm very happy because that community trust has come after we have done a lot of work. So that's why I'm like this today, because I'm very happy. At least we are impacting. I was so happy to see young children from grade 1 all the way to grade 8. They're excited because you're giving them a school, we give them a class. We have done a lot of transformation work in the school. We have built for them new toilets, and we're just moving on to do even staff houses as part of what you're doing. And I am so excited. I am so excited to see that through what we've done right now, people are beginning to be transformed. But our first breakthrough began when we met G back in the year 2010. Because at the time we had begun looking for funding for our project. And we're not getting guys to come and fund our projects. But when G came online that time, then we began to see light at the end of the tunnel. Yes.
Fantastic. And so G have come in on board, and this is a dream that you had, a dream. Probably you could take us a little bit back in terms of this dream that GE is funding. Where did it come from?
Good. My friend Simon, who we like sometimes making joke around. My friend Simon at the time, back in 1999 is when I met him, when I went to do my first job. So got to this company and I met this guy called Simon. So during break time, we are having discussions and talks, right? And then we became friends, but I didn't know what he was doing. So fast forward, he tells me he's doing some web design and he's doing something else on small wind turbine. And I asked him, what is small wind turbines? He tells me he was doing power generation from small wind turbines, and he was doing 150 words, 300 words. And therefore, he says, oh, Charles, I wouldn't mind you coming and seeing what you're doing. So fast forward, we separate after a few months or few years of working together. And then I come back to him after I got sacked in a place I was working. And then again, another point of failure. Then when I lost my job, I called Simon and asked him, I told him, Simon, I've lost my job. He says, Charles, just losing a job. Come, we do something. Come and see what we can do together. And that's how when I went to meet Simon, we thought about what do we need to do, because a company called Clara, we was working for. Clara was working for an institution called Acumen Fund. They wanted to fund Simon at the time $200,000, and he was told for us to fund $200,000, you must have a CFO. And Simon says, I have a CFO. And that's how I came into the mix. Yes, and the rest is now history.
Fantastic. And coming back to the present where we were, so GE have come in on board, and life feels good. At that point, what would you say success felt like? Was it freedom? Was it money in the bank? Was it recognition?
Frankly speaking, when GE came on board, I saw a dream fulfilled. However, I never saw money. The vision we had was quite big vision, and we could not understand what it was. Let me say this: if you understand all your dreams, if you understand the size of your dream, then you might be dreaming small. If you understand the size of your dream, then your dream is small. I remember our first budget was 100 million Kenyan shillings. And we were saying, with 100 million Kenyan shillings, we will do a wind farm. That was our budget. I remember we went somewhere, and because we were just doing our research, we asked a man who was having a 20-acre piece of land somewhere in Kiserian. We told him we will do what? We will use his land to set up the farm. We did not understand the magnitude of what we were doing. So we did not actually, in the beginning, understand the size of our dream. We didn't know. Personally, I didn't know. So even when G came in, it took me time to understand what is this. Because again, the development period of this kind of projects takes time. So even for me, I couldn't understand and I couldn't fathom the magnitude of the dreams. When now the numbers began to come in, to understand one wind turbine would cost up to $5 million. I said, what are you talking about? I got mesmerized. I couldn't imagine that was the cost of some of these things. It could go up to that price because these things are massive, and import these things. So I didn't even know, Titus, to tell you the truth. I did not even understand what that was all about.
Fantastic. So this dream has come in, and you all of a sudden you are given and let's say, for lack of a better, an invoice of $5 million to buy, and you need to buy a wind turbine. And let's talk about some of the challenges you've faced because I'm sure it's not all been rosy from the successes of GE coming on board, and you're looking at how do you build this massive thing. So talk to us about some of the hurdles you had to go through and you had to overcome to build this dream.
This thing, Titus, died 10 times every year. Every year, 10 times, more than 10 times per year. Because look, if you don't understand the size of your dream, then that means you don't understand the components of the dream. The first thing for you to do is to understand where you're going and how you're getting there. Now, imagine a scenario where you've dreamed big, you don't even understand the magnitude of your dream. So, first things first. We don't have land. The land is not our land. The The land is for the community. And that's the community where we come from. I've just come from. They own the land. So the negotiation for the community to allow us use their land was the first thing we had to do. And again, you meet a community that does not understand what you're doing. They don't know what is a wind farm. At the time, we didn't have these things people are seeing right now. We were among the first frontiers on doing a wind farm in the country. So we didn't see this thing. There were nothing in the news. Nowadays, when something's running on the news, you see the wind turbines. Then there wasn't. So explain to the community what it means to have a wind farm. In fact, what is that thing that is giving us power? I remember it took us time to show them or to demonstrate to them what it means to have something. Wind will give you power. How? So you tell them we're going to have big things rotating, and then for them to understand the rotation, we generates electricity. It was a hard thing. So that conceptualization took a bit of time. That's number one. So the land issue was a big one. Number two, even getting the place where we needed to go and do the wind farm was a problem because we didn't know where to go. Because you need a place where there are good wind speeds. The wind speed that you require for you to turn those turbines is a place where it has to be very good wind speed. So we didn't even know. So we got to the Ministry of Energy, spoken to them about it, and then they directed us to go to Kajiado. And also again, funding. There was no money. And I remember when I went to the ministry and I told them we want to do a wind farm, they told me to do an expression of interest. I wrote one letter. I wrote a one-pager letter, and I took them to the ministry and I told them, we have done an expression of interest. The gentleman then asked and told me, he took the paper and said, Charles, you're not serious. Go and do for me an expression of interest. I said, so what does this thing mean? He says, I need to tell me about your legals. Who is your lawyer? Who are you going to deal with in this? Who are you going to be dealing with? Who is your financier? Who is your technical partner? Who is your equipment partner? My dear, I don't even understand what is equipment partner. Who is your equipment partner to supply you with these things? And who is financing this project for you? And where is the land? Where are the permits? Honestly speaking, I sounded like a quack from somewhere who did not understand what was going on. And exactly that. The guy was gentle enough, but we didn't actually understand what this takes. So a lot of many challenges that we encountered in the beginning of the project.
Fantastic. And allow me to ask, and I think it was mentioned when we were beginning the conversation, and as you take your glass of water, and most times we find, people who believe in our dreams, people who help us overcome, people who tell us, don't walk us there. This evening, Martin has told us how we get cash flow positive, and we will follow his advice.
Wow.
So
good.
Talk to us a little bit about someone or some people or that have, made you step in the right direction and have guided you in this journey.
There are quite a number of people, quite many of them. First of all, my two co-directors, sticking together those two gentlemen, that to me has been a godly bond. I stood there today, and we stood there today this afternoon, and just trying to reflect back, because you can imagine the kind of impact you have in the community is a massive one. Millions being spent to impact the community positively, creating jobs, bursaries, building classes, building bridges. The two friends, Simon and Doc Namonje, to me, those guys, we've stuck together for quite some time. Every day is an inspiration. Because I do remember those early years, we could get a negative answer. Let me mention one. There's a gentleman from Israel who had promised to give us funding back in the year 2009, towards the end of December. And at the time, he said he will fund the project. But fast forward in the year 2010, beginning of the year 2010, we got news that Lake Turkana Wind was ahead of us in PPA negotiations. And the gentleman came and said, you know what, guys, we are not going to fund your project. And I remember vividly, we walked from Norfolk Hotel, crossed over to Lilian Towers, to the hotel. We were all dejected. We were looking down. We didn't know what to do because these guys came and picked us with a private jet from Winston Airport. Promised us heaven. And for your information, some of the guys who promise you heaven, just watch out. Watch out those guys, who they are, where they are coming from. Because chances are they have never been to that heaven they are promising you, and they are telling you they want to take you to heaven. Ask them, describe to me this heaven that you're taking me. How have you been there? How does it look for you? The guys pulled off. We walked across the road and we went and took a cup of tea because we didn't even have money. The three of us took a cup of tea. We spoke there and we said, you know what? We live to fight another day. One of the things we did and we've done over the years is trusting in God. There is nothing as strong for any entrepreneur like trusting in God. If you don't trust God, sour. But as for me, and as for those who we have been with together, we know there's a secret hand at work. Every time you put your trust in God, that He does something for you. He commands people for you on your behalf. He aligns things for you, and He ensures that what you need is waiting for you somewhere.
It's true.
It's waiting for you somewhere. So for me, my two partners have been greatly impacted me positively. Because every time I feel like I'm giving up, I remember where you're coming from. And we keep on going. We have challenges every day, including what you're doing right now. Fresh challenges. But every time we look at each other, we keep on going. But there are many more besides my two partners. Yeah.
Fantastic. And allow me we promised to keep it short and sweet.
Yes.
So I want to ask just two more questions.
Right.
And open it to this wonderful crowd because and the audience here, I know they have some burning questions.
Okay.
And actually, I will leave this seat and allow you guys to ask any question you have. But talk to us a little bit about some of the habits that have helped you become who you are. You know, sit in $1 million conversations, be able to impact lives that you've talked to, that you're saying that you're just coming from. Talk to us about the habits that have made Sir Charles into who he is today.
Great, Titus. My first one is, when I found God, I found life. And I found direction. When I found God, I found vision. And I love the story of Abraham. I think it's Genesis 14 or Genesis 13 thereabout. And God tells Abraham, He tells him, as far as you can see, whatever you can see, that land have I given to you. And when I got God, I got vision because I understood as long as you have God, God gives you vision and He gives you sight. And to me, finding God was a discovery of who I am and where I'm going. Because now suddenly I woke up to life and I realized the only thing I need to do, number one, is be disciplined, be focused. Because again, some of the reasons why we don't do or we don't acquire the things we need to acquire in life or become who we need to be is just small things about like absence of focus. So vision, God gave me vision. I found God, God gave me vision. I realized I need to be focused. I needed to be resilient because this life throws you lemons almost on a daily basis. So I needed to be resilient, focus. I need to be resilient. And then I needed to fight. We need to fight. Nowadays we are losing it so quickly. We need to fight. You know, think about it like this. God tells Moses, I have made you a God to Pharaoh. I've made you what? A God to Pharaoh. He was not going to talk to Pharaoh nicely. By the time God is telling Moses, I have made you go to Pharaoh, it means Pharaoh needed to see such a fight from a human being because he believed he cannot just fight any normal person because Pharaoh was feared. And that's how it is in the marketplace. In the marketplace, we are meeting pharaohs. You cannot fight with pharaohs when you are nice. One of the reasons why we are failing is because you are too easy to lose a battle. You need to fight until the end. You cannot just lose the battle. So I learned to fight. And sometimes not just fighting outrightly. Fight in prayer. Fight in prayer. Fight in wisdom. Seek for people who have understanding, who have gone ahead of you, who gives you counsel. Sometimes the best way of fighting is through wisdom. Fighting with understanding. We lose some battles because we fight in the wrong manner. There's a better way of fighting. Sometimes even submission is a way of fighting. There are things you fight by submitting. There are things you fight by keeping quiet. So understanding how to do the situation enables you also to win a battle. Sometimes you win battles, Titus, without even talking.
True.
You just gone quiet. Then the other person realizes, did I make a mistake? Why did Richard go quiet? Right? Why did he go quiet? Then they retreat back. So some battles you don't need to fight. So the issue is, if you have to fight, number one, understand which battle you're going to fight. There are those you must confront. There are those you have to keep quiet. There are those you have to use wisdom to fight them. The others you just need to go to your mentor and ask your mentor for wisdom and say, Stanley, I have this problem. I don't know how to do it. Tell me, give me some wisdom. Walk with him. And the other thing that I feel very important, Titus, is getting mentors. People can speak to you and you keep quiet. Some of those mentors will just look at you and say, you know what? Lucy, that was wrong. Come out.
Call you out.
That was wrong. They call you out. Nowadays, when you tell people they're on the wrong, they say you're messing with my feelings. Unless you know to deal with your feelings, you will never succeed.
It's true.
You must understand that you need to subdue your feelings if you need to succeed in life. Because you're going to be messed up here. And the marketplace does not sometimes care whether you have a feeling or not.
True.
It's commercial transactions. I've sat in meetings and the question, the word that people say, this is a commercial transaction. The moment you hear the word commercial transactions, you've just been told there are no feelings on the table. So this thing of he does not understand my feelings. It's a commercial deal. Commercial deals are not feeling deals. So we need to understand when you get to the table for discussion and for negotiation, everybody is looking at what works for them, and you have to be strong enough to realize, even you, there are places you cannot take feelings.
Fantastic. I absolutely love this conversation. And Charles, I know me and you can have a conversation for minutes, hours, on ends.
Sure.
But I want to bring this to a close. And ladies and gentlemen, is it adding value to our lives? Let's give this gentleman a big round of applause. Thank you so much for this. So your final comments and your final remarks. So someone here is just starting out.
Right.
Is in their first month of business, first year of business, 5th year of business, 10th year of business. What advice would you leave them? And I want you to face them, because I will gladly stand up and I'll give the mic to Masharia, because he will go around and get some questions so that we can get some input from the team. But people who are starting out, people who are running businesses, people who are in it, what advice can you give them, to keep the faith,
Right.
to fight in prayer, to show up every day, and to be a to represent God fully and well. So what advice can you give them? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Titus. I will share some of the things that I do feel for us, and especially young entrepreneurs, we should focus on so that we can be successful. One of them is understanding your dream clearly. Do you understand your vision clearly? Because if you don't understand your vision, then you will not know exactly where you're going. That's point number one. So, what is your vision? Have you put it right down? Have you put it down? Because you have to put your vision with clarity down. That's number one. Know your vision, put it down, know where you're going, and trust your vision. Sometimes we dream, but we don't trust our dreams. There's a t-shirt I like, and it says, give your dreams what? A chance. At times, God has given us dreams, but we've not given our dreams what? A chance. Give your dream chance. And how do you give your dream chance? Work on it. I feel sometimes we don't achieve our goals because we don't give our dreams a chance. So give your dream a chance. That's point number one. Point number two is understand who you are. Just know who you are. And understanding who you are means you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. Then that allows you to know, who do I tap into? If I am strong in finance, I don't need someone in finance. I need someone in marketing. So get a marketer. All right? If you're a marketer and you're developing a product, get a product developer. Let them help you develop product. So understand your strengths, understand your weaknesses. Then bring in people that complements who you are. So once you understand who you are, bring people who complement your strengths. As you do so, you're building a strong team. Number 3, I would say, is you need to identify the path that you need to take. And I could put it differently. Understand your business model. Let me put it that. Instead of using it a path, understand your business model. What is your business model? Because again, if you have a business and you don't have a clear business model, then your business model will not guide you to where you want to go. So the path will not be very clear. So what is your business model? What are you pivoting around? Because that needs to be very clear. If you're doing IT, what's your business model? Are you using USSD? Are you using a web-based platform? What is your business model like? So you have to understand clearly what is your business model. And then number 4, and I close on this one and get some more questions, is, have you learned your competition? At times we get into marketplace, but we have underestimated our competition. Who is your competition? Have you analyzed competition? Because you see, Martin, a reason why we fail is we assume that our products are unique. And you've not compared how your product matches with your neighbor's product. Then you get into the market, you realize your market share is actually being eaten up by something you thought cannot or does not affect your market. And that's where we lose it. So analyze your competition pretty very well. And understand something else that I tell people, and this is very important. There's something in product development called product or brand loyalty. Brand loyalty. Brand loyalty, I give you an example. I used to have a butchery at one point of time. I said I did many business. So I did a butchery. I had a butchery in Car West. And in my butchery, I assumed very well. When I went to Car West, I'm supposed to come from Car West. You know very well, Car West, there are enough people, you know. You walk in there, people are many. They're walking here, they're walking there. So I went there and I saw people are many. I saw market. I said, yay! Biashara iko hapa. Sawa. So then I get 300K. I said, I'm going to put 300K. I'm going to put a butchery for 300,000. That was good money. So I went there, I got a space for butchery. I put in a very nice butchery. It was nice. Put on some nice lights here and there. The butchery was looking fantastic. I can see people walking, I see money, right? But I forgot one thing. People don't buy from you because they like you. People will buy from you way later, and liking on you comes way later. And even if people like you, Richard, they may not trust you on your product. They have not seen you doing these products. Yeah. So they will be, and that's why people will get, okay, unapatia mtu kadogo anaenda kutrust. So me, I thought these guys will walk into my butchery. So the first day I brought in 50 kilos of nyama. Day one. Butchery is nice. So everybody should do what? Flock in it. My goodness me, I sold barely 2 kilos on day one. I had 50 kilos hanging. Another mistake I made, I don't have a freezer. Because I assumed, and that's a problem we have. You know, there's what you call actual demand and a perceived demand. We assume that our products will go because of what you call the assumed demand. You see people, you think they have money. There's the buying power, the purchasing power of the people. They might be many, yes, but they may not be having purchasing power. So, first day, sell barely 2 kilos. The second day, equally barely 2 kilos. Now this is the end of second day. And Martin, you've not sold meat. Meat is perishable product. Before you know it, Karani, my butchery is starting to smell. Had to look for a place to sell 46 kilos.
Wow.
I just had to not even sell. I had to give out. And the point I'm trying to say is this. Because the guys next there, another butcher is selling and selling. They're queuing. And the butcher will look at it. It's not looking like my butchery. But people are queuing to go and buy from there. But the point is this. The point is this. There's what you call brand loyalty.
Yeah.
By the time someone is moving from the products they've been buying, they have been having a relationship with that person. They have loved the product. I've been drinking this soda, this water. I like it because it's small, right? You may think I don't like it. You may not like yellow, but it's a brand I'm loyal to. So I like the yellow thing. You think, why does Charles like yellow? But I may be liking yellow. So brand loyalty takes time to overcome. So if you do business and think that people turn to your products the following day, you are mistaken. They will take time before they trust you, number one. People don't trust you. Nobody trusts you. And they will want to take some time before they ship your product. So because of brand loyalty, it takes a bit time for people to shift to come to your product.